this proportion. You've seen this before. What do? If you said that you should multiply 360 times 4 and then divide by 18 to find the missing value, you're absolutely correct. What would you get? If you said 80, you're right. If you didn't get 80, I want you to go back and try it again. Maybe you typed something into your calculator wrong. Remember that we're going to take the two, if you think of a proportion as butterfly wings, we're going to take the wing that has two values, and those are the ones we multiply, 360 times 4, and then we divide by the remaining one, which is 18. Try it again and see if you get 80. All right, if you know how to do this, then you're going to be fine with scale drawings.
Hi guys, we're talking about scale drawings today, and I think you're going to find this very easy. But first, let's talk about what a scale drawing is. A scale drawing is an enlarged or a reduced drawing that's proportional to the actual object. In plain English, that means I can take an actual object and I can make a drawing that is proportional to that object that's bigger, or I can shrink it down. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to do both of those things today, and more importantly, how to use what you already know about proportions to solve for a missing value. Let's take a look. Scale drawings are very useful. Because we already know how to solve for a missing value in a proportion, we already know how to solve for a missing value in a scale drawing. So what I'm trying to tell you is scale drawings are proportions. Probably the most important thing to remember whenever you're dealing with scale drawings is that when you set them up as proportions, make sure that you write the units. Make sure. And make sure that your units match. So for example, if you have something that says miles per gallon and you put miles on top, make sure your second fraction also has miles on top. You can do it the other way. You could do gallons per miles, but then make sure that both fractions have miles on the bottom. They have to match. There are more than one way to solve for a missing value in a scale drawing or a proportion. But my favorite way is the way that I taught you guys earlier in the year, whereas we set up the scale drawing problem, which by the way is usually a word problem, and when we set it up as two fractions equal to each other, which we call a proportion. When you do this, it is very, very, very important that you always make your first fraction your scale. So in other words, if you're reading a problem and it says that 1 inch equals 2 miles, then your first fraction would be 1 inch over 2 miles. Or you could do it the other way, 2 miles on top over 1 inch at the bottom. Remember what I said, it doesn't matter as long as you keep your units in the same place for both fractions. Let's try an example together. If you have your math textbook with you at home, I am on page 416 and I'm looking at example 1, which gives me the scale, and the actual problem is the try-it on the bottom of the page. It tells me that the scale is 1 inch equals 1.5 feet. And behind me on my little tiny whiteboard, you can see that I set it up as a proportion. And remember what I told you, the scale is always fraction number 1. I did it exactly as it was written in the book. So it said 1 inch equals 1.5 feet. So I put 1 inch, oh, it's this side of me, sorry, everything's backwards. I put 1 inch over 1.5 feet. then there's my equal sign, and then the problem at the bottom, the try it says, what is the actual width of the island if the width in the drawing is 2.5 inches? So here's the nice thing about scale drawings versus proportions. If you follow the units, you know where to put that 2.5 inches. Because I have inches on top here, I know that 2.5 inches has to go here. It wouldn't make sense for me to put it here because that's feet. So now I have everything that I need. I have 3 out of the 4 values, and I know how to figure for the 4th value. Now your book tells you to use W, and I'm going to tell you why. You can do it the way that you've known how to do it forever and ever, which is multiply these 2 things together, divide by this one. But now that you know how to solve equations, you can also do it another way. You could cross multiply and solve an equation. Or you could say 1 times W, which equals W, equals whatever 1.5 times 2.5 is. And you guys can do it on your calculator and figure that out. You're going to get the same answer either way. Okay, now you've done the math, and I'm sure you got 3.75. And it is not enough to say that W, or the question mark, in this case it tells you the variable is W. It's not enough to say that W equals 3.75. 3.75 what? Again, it's really easy to know what to write because I've got feet here. This missing value that I'm looking for also needs to be feet. So get in the habit, make sure that you're writing your units every single time you set these up. I'm almost 47 years old and I still do it this way. I still write the units. It works. You'll get them all right. See you guys later.